one end to the other. Not in.
And gentlemen, it's Faizal Khamisa from the Sports Sofa, and we're doing a new Friday segment for you. But let me introduce my guest first.
Andrew Canejo.
He is single, looking, jacked, plays football, and will, yeah, never mind. Hide your kids, hide your wife, all that stuff. We're going to do a little, toss-up. Who do you want? We're not taking this from PTI or anything. We're just throwing out topics, and we're going to talk about them. We have our host, Israel Fair, in the house. Lead us off.
Who you got this weekend, Leafs or Habs?
Well, this is a tough game to call because both teams are coming off pretty, bad losses. Montreal has been struggling. For the last 4 games they've lost. Carey Price is on the verge of his 100th win, but he hasn't gotten in 4 games. The Leafs on the road already struggling in their first game. 6 goals allowed against Boston yesterday, but James Reimer's in net. I'm gonna have to go with the Leafs, looking to rebound off this loss.
I'm going to have to take the other side of the story. I'm going to say Montreal wins this game simply because they're back at home. They lost to the Leafs in Game 1 of the season in the Leafs Center. So Carey Price gets the 100th win this game, and the Leafs look terrible in the Habs stadium because the fans are just going to play the extra factor here.
It's an arena, not a stadium. Keep going.
Thank you, sir.
Who you got on Sunday, Manchester City or Manchester United?
I got Manchester City in this game simply because Manchester United looked terrible in the last Champions League game, and Man City's just on a huge comeback this year. They got Balotelli, they got great strength on the offensive, and they will win this game.
You mentioned Balotelli, and he's not going to start, but that's depth off the bench, and that's the reason why I have to give, and it pains me as a United fan, City is going to take this game to United. Manchester United are struggling with identity right now. They have no creativity in the middle. Ferguson is stuck between players that he thinks should play versus, the ones who are actually better. And if he starts Ferdinand, we're absolutely done. The likes of Aguero and Dzeko are going to run wild on the back four of United. Unfortunately, United loses this game. Next.
Who has a better week, Tim Tebow or Carson Palmer?
This is interesting. Tim Tebow's playing in his first game this season after, he's much maligned. He's often criticized. But Carson Palmer hasn't played all year. Tim Tebow's at least practiced. Carson just got traded to the Raiders. And we can talk about that deal at another time. I think Tebow is going to rally his troops. It helps that he's playing the really bad Miami Dolphins. But Tebow himself, I think, is going to run wild, throw wild, and just shut up critics.
Let's talk about basic performance here. I'm not talking about the winners and the losers. Carson Palmer is going to play the better game this week. Why? He has more experience. He knows more about the receivers.
He's just learning the offense, though. He's been there for 3 days.
But he's a proven, not necessarily a proven winner. He's been in the league before. He's made the playoffs. He's had great seasons. He's going to come in and make an immediate impact for the Oakland Raiders.
Okay.
Can the struggling Jets beat the Chargers at home?
I'll lead this off. This is interesting because, there's been a beef all week with Rex Ryan and Norv Turner. Rex claiming that if he had the San Diego roster a few years ago, he might have had 2 rings already. Norv obviously telling him to shut up, mind his business. He can't win with his roster. You look at both teams and you really see 2 struggling teams. San Diego struggling, not in the record-wise. Usually their September's pretty bad in terms of, their October's pretty bad in terms of wins, losses, but they're winning. Now, going into New York is always tough. I think the Jets' defense is ready to step up. They just played a really good game last weekend against the Dolphins on Monday night. Sure, it was a crappy team they played. They're going to use that as inspiration. Sanchez will have his best game of the season. Jets are going to win.
Sanchez has not looked good all season.
Agreed.
Neither has the Jets' running game.
Agreed.
And that is why North Turner's San Diego Chargers will win this game because Drew Brees, it's time for him. It's time for him to find Antonio Gates for
Drew Brees, I think you mean Phillip Rivers, but yeah.
Phillip Rivers is going to find Antonio Gates for 150 yards and 2 scores this game. And the running game will run all over the Jets like they've been ran over this year.
Do we even know if Antonio Gates is still alive? Anyways, fine.
Antonio Gates questionable for this weekend's matchup.
Thank you, Tony Real.
I'm calling it now.
Moving on. What's the situation in the World Series after the weekend?
I'll take it. I say the Texas Rangers take a 2-run lead, or a 2-game lead, sorry, and simply because they're going to rally off this 9th inning win, and St. Louis is going to be sitting back on their toes trying to find where they lost it.
I disagree. I think, Tony La Russa will have his boys ready for when they enter Texas tomorrow. He's the type of manager that understands that maybe he played the wrong cards yesterday, maybe taking out the closer so early in the 9th and putting in Dusty Arthur Rhodes. May have not been the right move, but Tony La Russa is a manager that will learn from his mistakes. This St. Louis team has been resilient in this entire month of October. They're going to go into Texas, at least take 1, but I see us entering Monday, Monday is Game 5 with a tied series at 2.
Will we see basketball on Christmas this year?
This pains me. You know, as children get ready to unwrap their gifts and sit down and watch their NBA basketball on Christmas, they're going to be disappointed just to see blank screens because there will not be basketball at Christmas. Now, I would have said something different had David Stern showed up to mediations. Yes, I understand you're sick, but I'm sick. You know, but am I showing it right now? No. But I'm not negotiating one of the biggest deals in sports history. David Stern as a commissioner is showing no leadership, no intuitiveness, and Derek Fisher as the players rep is now bashing the owner's side. This is getting more ugly by the day, and therefore, no basketball on Christmas.
I'm going to say no basketball on Christmas. I'm going to throw this to you. Who would have we saw play on December 25th?
I'm going to say LeBron.
You think LeBron would have played?
I think LeBron would have played.
I think LeBron plays Kobe in the
I
Christmas
agree.
Day Classic.
And this is my point.
I think they dumped the Celtics this year, assuming there would have been a season, and LeBron plays Kobe.
Yeah, but you know, they have 3 games. They could have thrown the Celtics versus the Mavs. They could have thrown the Dwight Howard's Magic against someone. There's a lot of teams that could have played. The New York.
And this all pains me. This all pains me to know that we will not be seeing basketball.
And coming off one of the most entertaining, we can agree,
yes.
seasons of all time, no basketball. Unwrapping gifts will suck.
Sorry,
this one's just for kicks. What are you dressing up for Halloween?
I'm undecided right now. I'm thinking about going AC Slater. I'm thinking also about being a Spartan. Any excuse to take off my shirt.
I'm pretty decided. I'm going to be a 23-year-old guy that shouldn't wear costumes anymore, so therefore nothing. When you reach a certain point, it's like, listen, give it up. I understand you 90s kids still want to dress up and think, you know, you run this
It's like
world
talking to an old man.
Okay,
He
like
thinks
talking to a newborn.
He thinks he's so mature.
I don't know. I'm not going to be
Done.
dressing up. I'm done. I'm out.
Done.
Deuces.